Today I want to highlight a flaw in Windows 10 which has not been fixed since 2015, and it really is kind of frustrating to have to work with because it practically forces a reinstall of the computer because Microsoft feels the need to have to, well, not fix this bug. So let me explain what's going on. So I was working on some photos, or a thumbnail for YouTube, and I was dealing with a bunch of photos, when all of a sudden I realized that my desktop folder was empty. I was like, what's going on with that? So I go and I look, and sure enough, the desktop folder was empty. Of course, as you can see, I got my desktop icons back. I mean, those weren't there, so that's why I got a little suspicious. Anyway, so after I realized that, I noticed that there is a OneDrive icon down in the taskbar. And sure enough, as I figured, all my documents were fudged into this OneDrive folder, which is not obviously labeled as such, but I know it's such because there's a new status tab and it's pending a sync to OneDrive. Well, unfortunately, there's a problem there when you do that. Let me explain. See, right now I put everything in here, but, well, the OneDrive service isn't running, so it's not going to sync anything. But as you can clearly see, these are all my documents, which I manually copied from my, documents folder that's actually on the hard drive. And as you can see, the size is 31.1 gigs. My OneDrive is only 30 gigs, of which 24 gigs is used. I only have less than 6 gigs on my OneDrive free. So why does it think that this is a needed idea? I have no idea. Or why does this think it needs to sync everything to OneDrive? I have no freaking clue. So, that also applied for my pictures as well, hence why I've had to rename my pictures folder to prevent it from syncing if it decided it wanted to launch out of the blue for some reason. So, in an attempt to try to get everything back to normal, I want to change this library location to not have OneDrive be the default, which as you can see it's set to right now. I want to restore the default, which if you pay attention, is actually on the local hard drive. And Windows makes it look like it's so simple to move everything back over, right? Wrong. As soon as you press yes to this very obviously simple dialog, you get an error. Because it says, there's a folder in the same location that can't be redirected, access is denied. Whatever the heck that means, because I don't see why there'd be a problem with moving this over to the local drive where it belongs in the first place, where it was in the first place. Now, normally I wouldn't be complaining about something like this because I don't give a crap about OneDrive, but here's the issue that's going on right now. Unfortunately, because the libraries got broken, none of the applications which expect things to be in the documents folder actually work anymore. For example, BeamNG Drive, which is a game I play, obviously you can see there's the BeamNG Drive folder up there, no longer works properly because of the fact that it can't find that folder. Because it's expecting this library to contain the BeamNG Drive folder, which has been set to OneDrive, which is now blank. So that is not in that folder which BeamNG Drive expects, so it doesn't work anymore. Even though it's right there, where it's always been. It's because that library got broken that now everything's broken. So, unfortunately, that basically forces a reinstall of Windows since you can't fix the library. How convenient is that? And there's practically no fix for it since Microsoft certainly never fixed it, and they certainly don't seem to be in a rush to fix it, which, again, forces the user to have to reinstall Windows to fix the libraries. So, what the hell? So, unfortunately, that means that unless I want to go through the absolute painstaking process of having to refix everything with this install of Windows, which is probably going to get wrecked again as soon as I ever think about wanting to run OneDrive and have it start syncing everything in the background, of course, because of course that's what Microsoft thinks is best. I'm basically stuck with reinstalling Windows on my gaming computer, including all of my games, and all of my mods, and all of my Windows Store applications, and then I have to deauthorize iTunes, and then I have to deauthorize this, and deauthorize that, and it's like, what the hell, Microsoft? Do you really think you want to put your users through this? I guess so, because clearly it happened. And this kind of just gives me a little bit of a thing to say that this is why I switched to Mac, is because I hate little situations like this, of which the user can't fix. So unfortunately it leads to having to have to force reinstall Windows. Because You can't get work done when the libraries are broken. And you wish you could fix the libraries, but you can't, because apparently the folder you want to move it into, you can't access because, for some reason, that Windows won't tell you, and it just denies access, even though the dialog clearly shows what it's going to do, which is very simple. Move files from one folder to the next. How hard can that possibly be? And fix the stupid library thing. It's like, oh my god. Anyway, venting over. Yeah. So now I'm going to be stuck having to, well, let's see here. I'm going to have to use this hard drive here, which is a 640 gig, to have to back up all of my stuff, all of my documents, all of my pictures, all of my music, although probably I can download most of it from iTunes, but that's beside the point. There's some songs on there I can't download from iTunes. Anyway, then I have to back up other things which I can't replace onto that drive, to have to reinstall Windows and hope that I get the Spring Creators Update, not the Fall Creators Update. I want the latest release if I'm going to reinstall Windows. And then have to reinstall everything and have it hopefully get back to the way it was before this all happened. And hope OneDrive doesn't mess up everything once more, because seriously, OneDrive is a great tool. It really is. Syncing files to the cloud, you know, it wouldn't be so bad if when you open up the Windows Explorer, and, well, the File Explorer I should mean, and, well, you would think everything would be contained in this OneDrive folder here. You see? You would think everything would be self-contained in its own OneDrive folder. But unfortunately, now there's this broken disconnect, which it managed to create all on its own because it launched in the background for no reason. When I had nothing to do with OneDrive, it just opened and, well, felt like screwing everything up. So that's nice. So unfortunately, it looks as if I'm going to have to reinstall Windows on my gaming computer. So that means, yeah, I have to go through that motion. So that's going to be great. So that's why I use Mac now, because Windows 10 clearly has that huge flaw which has not been fixed ever since its introduction in 2015, and clearly doesn't seem like Microsoft is in a rush to fix it. So that's one of the many reasons why I don't use Windows 10 anymore, because you're likely to have all of your operating system fucked up in a matter of seconds because OneDrive feels the need to sync. Great job, Microsoft.